You know, phones and gadgets are becoming more and more capable, but more and more complex all the time. And everybody's always looking for ways to, get the most out of a device, make it as usable as possible, without making it any larger. So a long time ago, Motorola introduced this phone called the MPX 200. That was a dual hinge phone. It opened, the long way and the short way, but it had like a million buttons and it was way ahead of its time. Then Samsung and Verizon came out with the Alias, which was, I think it was called the SCHU 740 or something like that before they called it the Alias. And it combined, same thing, dual hinge, opened the long way and the short way. And it could do a lot. It was kind of cool because it was small like a flip phone, but had a full QWERTY keyboard for texting. But it turned some people off because they said it was too confusing, too many buttons, that kind of stuff. Well, now, Samsung and Verizon are back with the Alias 2 that uses a new technology, e-ink, to make the buttons actually show different labels depending on what mode you've got the phone in. Sounds kind of crazy, right? It's simpler than it sounds, or at least I hope it is. So let's open it up and take a look. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. This is the brand new Samsung Alias 2 VCast phone with Rhapsody and QWERTY keyboard, as you see right down here. Just got this one delivered this morning thanks to our friends over at Verizon. It's available right now, $79.99 on contract, 2-year contract, after $50 rebate. You get the rebate back as a debit card, apparently. So $79.99, and then of course you have to pay your monthly service. Then of course you have to pay your monthly service on top of that and that kind of thing. So inside the box we've got the user manual. It's a big user manual, I hope that's not a bad sign. Some other manuals in here. The phone itself and your charger, that's all you get. We'll take a look at the phone. It is unfortunately a little bit bigger and thicker than the original Alias, and that was one of the things I liked about the original so much, was that it was a thin flip phone, and it looked like a thin flip phone, but it had the whole full keyboard on the inside. But anyway, so here's the device, and we'll take the film off here. And I tell you, I've for a while now thought, that it'd be really cool if somebody could come up with a phone where the button labels actually change. So you could have just a minimal number of buttons, but it would be easier to use, because the labels would change depending on what context you're using the phone in. This is something that Motorola has tried to do with their mode shift technology, where it's the lights next to the buttons. They just have little dots for buttons, and then the lights next to the buttons change. But this is actually the first phone that I've seen where the buttons themselves actually change. There's a computer keyboard called the Optimus Prime, Optimus Maximus. I want to call it Optimus Prime, like the Transformer, where it's an OLED keyboard where all of the buttons on the keys, instead of having printed labels, they actually have little OLED displays, and they change. But that keyboard's really expensive because of the technology. This is a lower cost e-ink technology. It's only black and white, grayscale, but it's cheaper to use. Very low power as well, so it doesn't drain your battery power. And it'll last longer. So we'll take a look at the phone real quick here, and then we'll get to the keyboard. On the front, you've got an external display with 3 buttons for media controls. You've got your camera on the front here, 2 megapixel with camcorder mode. On the left spine, you've got your accessory port. Unfortunately, Samsung proprietary still waiting for Samsung to move to the USB standard in all their devices. 2.5 millimeter headphone jack. Would have liked to seen a 3.5 on there. Again, standards, 2.5 was the standard for cell phones for a while, but I think 3.5 is the new standard. Rocker switch, voice command switch. On the other side, micro SD card slot, hold button, power key. Nothing on the top or bottom except your little microphone port. And then on the back, just your battery cover. So we'll open the phone up. We'll open it you can open it either way, and you can see the keyboard just changed. So right now I've got this orientation, the horizontal orientation of the keyboard with the numerical dialing pad and your other buttons. And then if I open the phone the other way, you can see it changes again. It's the same numerical dialing pad, but the keys actually change their labels. That's pretty cool. I hope this looks cool on video to you, because it's pretty neat in person. The keys themselves, a little bit thicker than keys are on a standard cell phone. And obviously, I don't know if this is why. I would assume the e-ink technology means that the phone has to be a little bit thicker as well. But they're not really super thick. They just feel a little more like kind of domed plastic than, they look kind of cool as well, the keys themselves, because they're see-through, so you can see the labels underneath. Just kind of futuristic looking. Maybe I'm just enamored of the technology, but I think it's kind of cool. So we'll show you again the key switch modes. And then we'll go into messaging mode. And the key switched again to match this menu. And I'll choose new message, new text message. And now we've got the whole QWERTY layout there. That's pretty neat. I definitely like it. Whoops, let's go down. So you've got a D-pad down there, and we'll type a message out. Now if I switch the orientation of the phone, let's see what happens to the keypad now. I'm still writing my message. It's rotating. And now I've got, this is kind of cool because it's like a T9 style, but there's no numbers on here because I'm writing a message. So it's only the little button layout. Or the, rather, the the alphabet characters on the T9 style layout. Thank you very much. And then I can switch modes. And if I switch modes, now I get the numerical layout. That's really, this is nice. So far it looks like they did a really good job on the software here. And then you can see some of the keys also have, little icons for the other different modes. Really pretty neat so far. I'm thinking this is kind of cool so far. Let's go to OK. And let's end the message. Let's use the D-pad here. We'll zoom back so you can see the whole thing. Don't save. Anyway, the keyboard feels pretty good. And again, the e-ink technology, definitely very cool. We've seen this, on things like the Amazon Kindle book readers. But first time I've seen it in a gadget used for something like this, and I think it's very clever. Again, I wish the phone was a little bit thinner, but maybe they'll be able to come out with a new version that is. But very cool. This is the kind of thing that I think will dazzle some people, and hopefully it'll also serve its purpose, which is to make a phone like the Alias that could do so much, but a lot of people are turned off because they opened it up, saw all the buttons, got freaked out. And instead, this seems to be much simpler. Again, I'll show you one more time. We'll go into the messaging mode, and we'll start a new message. And the keyboard magically transforms. Very cool. With the new e-ink keyboard based Alias 2 from Samsung and Verizon. I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. Much more on this phone and its magic keypad coming soon on PhoneDog. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.